Despite it being 1-1 in the series, there's not much more that Kevin Durant could be doing. We're talking about an all-time scorer who is at maybe the highest level we've seen him to this point. KD and company looking to get a win at home. They've had 15 of those in a row, looking to break a record as we get a chance to welcome in and another thing or two about winning championships. Kenny the Jet Smith joins us out at Oracle. Kenny, I want to, because we've talked about it a lot tonight on this show already, start with Steph. What are you seeing from him offensively and defensively here through 2 games of this series?
Somebody who's trying to find that rhythm, who hadn't, been in the last, 20 games of the regular season, kind of jumping back into the playoffs. He's going to have high games and low games. I think probably these 3 or 4 days probably helped him get back into a practice rhythm with the team. There's a difference between, and GA and Sam probably will attest, rehabbing or getting ready to play. 2 different things. So when you get ready to play, you play better. When you're rehabbing, it's hit or miss.
Kenny, when you look at how the Houston Rockets are targeting Steph and making him play defense on James Harden and Chris Paul, if you was having a conversation with him, what would that conversation be like? Because obviously I haven't seen anything like this. When you're looking at a 2-time MVP, a 2-time champion, where a team is blatantly targeting him, trying to attack him on the defensive end every single possession with Chris Paul and James Harden, what would your conversation with Steph be if you was coaching him?
Well, the best defense is offense. You got to put pressure on them. You got to make them think too much about you. And, I think overall teams have tried to do that, but the guy is such a prolific scorer that he's able to kind of demoralize you on the offensive end because of his great offense. And I just don't think he's being offensively assertive enough. I would just say just be more offensively assertive. We're going to get you help on the defensive end. We're not going to leave you on the island. Just give them 30. Keep it moving. We got to be offensively aggressive.
What Chuck used to say, the best offense is defense, huh?
No question about it. With him, Sam, his ability to score is demoralizing at times, especially where he shoots from and how he shoots. So you don't have time to think about, now we need to go at him, because he'll hit a shot that puts you up 8 when you're up 5 or take you to 11. And then all of a sudden you can't, we can't worry about this. We got to make sure that we get something that we want. And I think he could be demoralizing for them offensively.
Hey, Jet, look at this Rockets team after the performance they had in Game 2. What do you think their mindset's going to be coming in here in that first game on the road, knowing that Golden State's going to probably play with more energy? What's the sense you get, and what's your mindset if you're them coming into this environment knowing how good they've been here?
Well, they're great here. I think overall the Rockets have to look at Game 1 in comparison to 2. They've been saying that they haven't changed anything from Game 1 to Game 2, but if you're a basketball purist and you look at the game, you say you've definitely changed things. You became less pick and roll, and you became more penetrate to the lane and pitch, where before it was I'm going to pick and roll and ISO. They've kind of abandoned that. They have to stay away from that, because if they do that, this team is way too good in Golden State for you to isolate the basketball and think that you're going to score. Penetrate, pitch, ball movement, everybody touched it. All of a sudden, you start winning. And that is the recipe for winning. And I don't think any of us have ever said that you can't win playing isolation basketball. We just said we've never seen it. We've never seen it.
Kenny, appreciate it. Should be a great atmosphere. Always is out there by the Bay. Have fun, okay?
All right. See you guys later.
All right. Thank you, Jet. Appreciate you. All right, let's take a look now at tonight's shot chart presented by Kaiser Permanente.
I thought you were about to say Kaiser Sosa.
Nope.
And I was going to get up and run if he would have said that.
Great movie, by the way.
Great movie.
Great movie. One of the better endings, anyway. Let's not get Kaiser Permanente upset. Here's the shot chart. A lot of different factors, but we knew, GA, that Eric Gordon was going to be a guy who had to shoot the ball well and be a part of this offense for them to win. Was pretty good, actually, in Game 1, even though he only had 13 opportunities. What did you see in Game 2?
Yeah, I thought he played with more confidence, and I think he got it back in Game 2, even in that loss. And sometimes that happens. Like, you might get beat, but there are positive things can happen in the course of the game. And I think Eric Gordon getting back his rhythm get him back more comfortable, not just knocking down the triple, but he made a lot of really good plays off the dribble in that game as well. And so he's going to be critical because, people are talking about, well, you can't expect P.J. Tucker and Eric Gordon to do what they did. Well, I sure as hell expect Eric Gordon. He's a guy that averaged 20 points a game almost during the regular season.
Yep.
P.J. Tucker, he is a complimentary player. So the shots he's going to get are created for him. So you hope he can make some of those, Trevor Ariza, guys like that. But I think if I'm Golden State again, Eric Gordon's a guy that they view him the way Houston views Klay Thompson in terms of we don't want to give him open rhythm shots. We want to make him a basketball player from the standpoint of make him a creator. Don't allow him those catch and shoots that you saw him get in game 2 and that you saw Houston able to limit Klay in game 2. He only got 4 3-point attempts. That's how you can tell the defense was effective, not his percentage, his attempts. And I think similarly, if you're Golden State, you want to limit what Eric Gordon gets in terms of open rhythm shots. Make him more of an ISO one-on-one player.
Sam, it's interesting because Mike D'Antoni has been really kind of stalwart on we didn't change anything, which Jet just alluded to, but their ball movement was way, way better.
And they did
in game 2, creating a lot of those shots.
When you go back to game 1, when they did get the ISOs, they shot jump shots. Okay? When you go back to game 2, Chris Paul and James Harden lived in the paint. And I tell people this all the time. For a team to shoot 43s, Mike D'Antoni doesn't have 43-point plays to get 3-point shots. You get it through ball movement, but better yet, through penetration. And when Chris Paul and James Harden live in the paint, that's when a role player like P.J. Tucker can eat. That's when Eric Gordon and them get wide open shots. And people keep saying, can P.J. Tucker do that again? Yes, if you let him stand in the corner and he gets a chance to set his feet because James Harden and Chris Paul are breaking down the defense, yes, he can have the same type of performance. Where role players get in trouble, and I was a role player, is when we have to try to create our own shot. As long as Kevin Garnett was at that elbow and the defense collapsed in his laps and he was moving the ball and we were moving, Sam Mitchell could play. But when you threw me the ball and I had to create a shot for myself, that's when we tend to get in trouble, role players. So as long as James Harden and Chris Paul, and they got to do it even better today, because Golden State at home is going to hit you hard in that first and third quarter. And if you can survive that and be within 8 to 10 points and then have your run, that's the only way you're going to have a chance to win this game in Golden State.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that because we saw this yesterday, the way Cleveland jumped out. And, GA, this isn't obviously rocket science. It happens in every sport. You know that the team that's back at home is going to come out probably hot from the floor because they're going to be more comfortable. When you're in a room getting ready as a veteran, you're on Houston, what are you saying? What are you trying to do to counteract that start you know is coming from Golden State?
Well, you don't necessarily plan on it being a start. You plan on matching their intensity and energy to start the game. That's the thing that a veteran team like Golden State, and they were able to do it in game 1.
Yeah.
Like Houston, they're veteran teams. So they have, what they do on the road, they're not uncomfortable doing. And so, not saying whether or not they win the game, they know they have the ability to do what's necessary. And so that's what, in these kind of games, that's what you look for. Is their energy going to be the same as Golden State's? Are they going to be on their heels like we saw Houston last night? Or are they going to be aggressive in matching that force? And that's going to tell you what their belief is going into the game in terms of their approach. And that's what you look for. Is the force matching the force, or are they counterpunchers? Are they sitting back waiting?
Don't turn the ball over and exhaust the shot clock. And what I mean by that is make those extra passes. Make Golden State defend for as long as they can in that 24 seconds to try to drain some of that hype and energy out of them early the first 5 minutes of the game. And then you play. But if you come out and take quick shots and turn the ball over, they're going to run you out the bench.
I think, Sammy, you were being modest about your handles, by the way, during this segment.
No, I wasn't. I can drill with my right hand, not my left.